welcome to my channel. My name's Jo. I am Belushi Stitches here on Flosstube and also over on Instagram. This is a channel about cross stitch. If you're returning, thank you for coming back. It's been a while since my last Flosstube, which was I think mid-April. And if you're new here, then thank you very much for stopping by. I hope that you find something here that you like, and please consider subscribing if you do. So today I'm going to be doing a kind of organise my floss with me on a particular project, so this kit here. And it's not, I'm not putting them on bobbins or on floss drops. They already come, the floss is already kind of on floss organisers, but I just need to sort of prepare them a little bit so I can use them the way that I like to use them. So I'm going to be doing that, and then I'm going to show you this little pile of haul at the end. So if you're not interested, I won't go through it now, I'll go through it at the end and then you can just switch off. But yeah, so since April I've had sort of a lot of stuff going on personally and then professionally, so job-wise, work-wise, and I just haven't been in the right sort of frame of mind to film a floss tube, and I think I put it off and have really missed it. So I wanted to do this today instead of doing a sort of traditional floss tube. I thought what I'd do is do this today because I've got to organise these the floss for this one today anyway. I thought I'd just have a chat really, show you how I prepare the floss for this type of kit, and then just let you know what I've been up to over the last couple of months. There's been 2 retreats and a couple of SALs and new starts and stuff. So a few finishes as well, but I'm going to do a separate video for my finishes, I think. Anyway, I'll work it all out. So yeah, I will be back in a second. I'll clear all this away and then we will just talk through the kit just so I can get myself set up. See you in a sec. Okay, so this is the kit I'm going to be working on today and hopefully starting. This is, oh, that's better, Sunny by Leilani Joy is the artist, and then kitted and charted by Gecko Rouge. And I'm going to do this hopefully without too much crinkle. If there is crinkle, I'll mute it out. The kit comes like this, and I will take it all out in a second. It comes with 18 count fabric, floss, and some organisers, which I'll show you in a second. I did go for a paper pattern, but I've also got the pattern on PDF. I am hoping to start this one today. As my birthday start. July is my birthday month, and I've had my birthday and I don't feel any differently. So I'm going to take this out now so that I don't crinkle on the screen, but it's this kit that I'm going to be organising the floss on. See you in a minute. Okay, so yes, I've left this in here because I don't really need to take it out. It is still in the plastic, but you can see the design. This is 245 stitches across by 308 stitches up, 62 colours, and yeah, it's on 18 count, so it's 13 by 17 inches, so not a small piece. These are, so the fabric, the floss kind of comes tucked into the fabric, so I'm going to take the fabric away. And here are the flosses. Aren't they beautiful? Yes, they come in these kind of organisers like this, and you get a needle tucked away. They don't give you the DMC numbers. You have the symbol and then the number. They're all numbered 1 to 62 in this case. And when you look it up in the I use Pattern Keeper. When you do that, then you can just choose you can find the number. You don't have to find the symbol, you can find the number. So yeah, who knew there were 62 colours in a similar vein? Just for background, when I did a piece called Sunflower Cottage a couple of years ago, if I can find a picture, I'll pop it in, and the best bits for me were the bright yellows and the bright oranges right at the bottom of the piece, so I had to get through all the blue at the top before I could get to the yellows, and I didn't realise how much I enjoyed those colours, but I absolutely loved them. So I'm hoping I'll enjoy this whole project because the whole thing is orange and yellow. Okay, I've taken this out of the plastic now because it was irritating me mainly, so you get this lovely cardstock picture of the design. With this one as well, Leilani Joy has done a video on YouTube, which I will link below. It's really cool. Kelly from Animal Instinct showed me this as well, and showed me the link to this, because the artist is actually, she did a drawing and then she painted it and she recorded her painting. So the video isn't too long, she speeds it up, but you can see her painting this, actually creating this design. It's absolutely amazing to watch as a non-artist in that medium. There's other bits in her video, what was it? Tarot card reading, I think. So if you're not interested in some of that, then you may need to fast forward through a few bits. But yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. It's amazing to watch. So okay, so the floss come in these card organisers, and let's take this one for example. This is just one really, really long piece of thread, the whole thing, and then it's just looped. So all of these have got loops at the end, which means if you're trying to use them as a floss drop, if you tried to pull one strand, it would obviously become a horrendous mess. So all I do is I just cut the loops at the end, and then I use them as floss drops. I just leave them where they are. With the big chunky ones, I will plait them or braid them into individual braids, and then I might pick 3 at a time and braid them. I might pick 6 and braid them. I don't know. I'll see how I see what it needs really. I play it by ear, see what I fancy. But essentially the key is to cut the loops at the end. Otherwise you're absolutely screwed. And in fact, I just used, I had a new start in July, yeah, beginning of July, and I cut all the loops. It was a Gecko Rouge kit as well, and I cut all the loops at the end apart from one, which I'd sort of left maybe 3 strands of a 6-strand thread in, and when I went to take one strand off, the whole thing just bunched up and became a huge mess. So yes, I'm not perfect, and that's not the first time I've done that either, so I shall do my best today, see how I get on. So yeah, I'm just going to loosen this. This is what I tend to do. Oh yeah, that's actually what I intend to do, is I take this off completely, because it just gets sort of slightly in my way. Some people leave it on, and that's fine too. But I'm going to thread this back through and tie it back together slightly looser than before, because that was really, where's the tie marks? Yeah, that was sort of tied here. That's just too tight really. I want to be able to turn the pages over, so I'm just going to go with that and see how I get on. What I want to be able to do is turn, when I've got it ready, turn the pages over like a book, and then sort of, now I'm at page 2, that sort of thing. That's too loose, so I'm going to loosen it and redo it. Make a bit of a mess as I go, but that's okay. And if I can't undo this knot, I will speed this bit up. Okay, that was probably really painful for you to watch, but we're here now. So I'm going to make it much closer and see how that looks. Oh, I think that's still too loose. Yeah. And I know some of you are probably shouting at the screen, just tie another knot, Jo. So I'm going to tie another knot. Let's try that. Probably shouldn't tie them so tight at the beginning, should I? Yeah, now it's too much. There's every chance I'm going to edit this whole section out. But also, you can see it's a bit of trial and error. And that's never a bad thing to show. Sometimes it's not perfect all the time at the beginning. Right, I think that's fine. Bit of a half measure there. Yeah, and then I can just go, oh, I want this page. on this page, and it just turns like a book. There's still a little bit of movement in there. Okay, I'm happy with that. So, back to the front. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just start with the first one. Well, actually, number 18. The first one's over here. I'm going to start with number 18. First one, left to right, and just snip all the loops and throw them over, work my way across, and then turn the page. And actually, I think I might get my sewing machine to weigh this down, but I might not need it yet. See what happens? Okay, see what happens. Okay, so, right, I'm going to see if you can see. Yes, you can. And as long as I don't go past here, then you can see in the camera. Okay, so I've got a few things to talk about because it's been ages, and hopefully the noise of this won't be too much bother for you. Some people do and some people don't like the sound of snipping things. You know, I knew there was one left. I knew there was one left. Let's just see if this is focusing, sort of. So, let me take her away a little bit. Right, so in April, I went to a cross-stitch retreat. I think I recorded I put my Flosstube up just a couple of days beforehand. And so I went to a cross-stitch retreat in Crewe. And this was by Jo Bird, who is, it was a Ladybird retreat. It's called the Ladybird retreat. I was up in Crewe in a really lovely hotel. And I went along and I joined some people. I went on the Thursday evening. I just wanted to give myself a little bit more time. Did I have 2 trains? Yeah, I had 2 trains and managed to get there, got a taxi to the hotel. It was great, checked in, it was fabulous. Met some really lovely people in the on the first night, on the Thursday evening, who were very welcoming. This was my first ever in-person retreat, and I wasn't nervous, but it's always a bit weird when you don't know where you're going and it's an unknown. And it was absolutely fantastic. And I finally met Emma Exegy. We've been friends for a couple of years now, and we hadn't actually met. So we met at the retreat, and she is every bit as lovely as I knew she would be. So we had a great time, kind of catching up and chilling out for a little bit, and then, oh, that was a tough one. And yeah, and then we had a table that we grabbed towards the back of the room. And actually, the night before there weren't as many tables, and then I came in on the Friday and there were, I think, 2 more tables squeezed in. So not because more people were coming, I just don't know if it was quite set up by the hotel staff, quite ready. I'm not entirely sure. I'm just going to check you can still see this. Yes, it probably just looks really, really horribly messy on camera. Does it? Yeah. Apologies. These are, I think it would be better as well if it was different colours, but these are just all the same type of colours, aren't they? So, yes, Crewe retreat. And I met some absolutely wonderful people. Patchwork Rabbit came along. We had a really interesting table, a finishing table at the back, stash, destash, a kind of selling table, a raffle. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Our table was, as I said, quite near the back, and I met again some people that I've sort of known for a while via Instagram or by Flosstube. That was quite satisfying. And so on our table we had Emma, Zarina from Hawkins Hobbies. Hawkins Hobbies had a room as well with the shop, so Zarina and Robert were there. Hello. We had Lisa cross stitch midwife, who is just the most delightful person. If you're watching this, Lisa, and you probably will be, I absolutely loved meeting you. I just thought you were absolutely wonderful, and I loved sitting next to you and hearing your stories and just chatting to you. Finally seeing you stitching. It was great, absolutely wonderful. Karen, who had the most amazing finishes pile on the finish table, incredible. And we had a lady who joined us for not a huge amount of the retreat, and I apologise profusely, I cannot remember your name. I can picture you 100% sat opposite me, and I just cannot remember your name, so I hugely apologise. If you see this, please let me know. You weren't with us for too long at the weekend, but it was delightful to see you and to meet you. Oh. So editing Joe here. I've muted this bit because I didn't notice at the time that my neighbour is building a motorbike, or nearly finished building a motorbike, and he was just revving it in his workshop. So I have muted this bit out because I just started talking really loudly over it. And all I was saying was that I met some really lovely people at the retreat, and I was having a great time chatting to everybody, and that was it. But yeah, I met Rosie and Tan, both of which I've met since then as well. And oh, there we go. Georgie, Joe, Helen, Shirley, Lynn, Susie. There we go. Lucy, another Joe. Nice. Okay, I think that first page might be done. We'll see what happens. Oh, I'm going to have to talk quickly, aren't I? Because I don't have a huge amount to do. Right, so we're on page 2, and can you see? Yes. So, yes, so while I was at the retreat, I stitched 3 pieces, 1 each day. I didn't bring a light with me, so I had to choose some quite sturdy, lower count pieces, and I stitched in hand. Luckily I was sat by a window, so I did have some really good lighting, and I stitched on Lucky Nutcracker, Christmas Magic and Needleworker, and I will either show you these in my whip parade or in my finish parade coming up. Oh, there we go. And actually during the retreat, I don't know, I think it was a migraine just kind of gone bad, but I felt really unwell for quite a lot of the retreat, so I did sort of literally retreat to my room sometimes, which is totally fine to do, and I had every intention of sort of being a bit more present at it, but I don't know what was wrong with me, really. I felt quite unwell for some of it, so apologies to those if I wasn't quite myself. Luckily I'd never met you before, so you wouldn't have known, but I wasn't myself. And hopefully I'll feel better at the crew retreat in September, which I'm really excited about. So Joe from Ladybird, if you do see this, thank you very much for a lovely retreat. It was fabulous. The other things I stitched in April were Christy. Hi Christy. Christie's Nun Harvesting Phalluses. That's now a finish. I'll show you that in my finish parade if I haven't shown you that before. I don't know. I can't remember. And I stitched on the robin, which was a Gecko Rouge kit. Oops. Which I just don't seem to be able to get to and finish. So, oh, and I also stitched on Spring Hare, which was a stitch along with Emma earlier on in the year. That's also now a finish. Whoops. Okay. Let me just check that one. So yeah, quite a bit of stitching. Then in May, Emma and I had the stitch along of MerMaynia, and a lot of people joined us. I have to say a huge thank you to anyone and everyone that stitched on MerMaynia. It was absolutely wonderful. Essentially the rules were, no rules, but stitch anything mermaid related, or kind of, well, it was mermaid related, and then I realised I picked a project that wasn't actually a mermaid, but I could link it back to a mermaid, and that was kind of enough. Yes, I decided, and you could have just stitched one, a whip, new start, anything. I decided to do 5 new starts, well, 4 new starts and pick up an old whip. Oops. Which I nearly managed. I stitched on the Dark Queen of the Sea, which I know is not a mermaid, but for a while there was a hashtag that followed it saying hashtag not a mermaid, because at first people thought it might be a mermaid right at the beginning. So, oops, there we go. I picked that one up and stitched on that one for a week. I can't remember the order I've done these in. I then started Mermaid's Folly, which is by the Courtney collection. I got quite far in that one. I surprised myself in a week. And Kelly from Animal Stitches, she is stitching that one. She's just shown it in her most recent whip parade, so if you want to see how she's got on with that one, go check out her channel and her video. She is fabulous. I stitched on the RTO Red Mermaid, which is one of those ones that's got blends, half stitch, use 2 strands, use 1 strand, blah blah blah. And I thought it'd be horrendous, and actually, oh, it was an absolute delight, and it looks incredible, absolutely incredible. I could easily, like with most of these, I could easily have carried on. Did you see what I did? Missed 1 strand. Can you see that? No, of course not. 1 strand still looped. That's the sort of thing that would cause a right old mess. So that's done. What else? What else did I stitch on? Oh, Mermaid of Salem Bay. Silly. Mermaid of Salem Bay by the Primitive Hare. I have the Call for Fabric, Floss and Bead pack. Haven't started the beading yet. Yes, and that's a lovely one. And again, I could have just stayed stitching on that one. I decided to stitch that one by hand, in hand with the sewing method, and it's really coming along. Okay, we turn to the next page. Yeah, it's much easier for me to do it this way. I'm sorry if it's a bit of a mess to see. You might not even be able to see any of this, in which case I might have to refilm. Not sure, see what happens. So I had a 5th piece that I was going to stitch. It was called the Floating Mermaid by Dimensions, and I decided towards the end, I think I had 1 or 2 days of May, and I just decided I didn't want to do it for no particular reason, so I didn't, and I just didn't do that. So instead I picked up, or after, it must have been during May as well, I picked up butt trumpet, or Toot Your Own Horn, which is the second in the medieval marginalia series by Christie's Corner Needlework. And that's a finish now. I can't remember when I finished it. Also known as Toot Your Own Horn. That will be in my finished parade. Oops. There we go. And that's pretty much it for May. I stitched on loads of stuff, and towards the end of May I applied for a new job. So what happened next? So there was June, and I attended the Bristol Stitchers Retreat, organised by Sue Burns, not cross stitcher, and absolutely delightful to go to a stitching retreat in your hometown. So now you all know where I live. It was, well, nearly. It's absolutely wonderful. And I met some wonderful, wonderful people, some lovely, lovely stitchers, and people who have been, who I've been chatting to, who I would consider my friends. And certainly now that I've met them, but some of these I would already have classed as my friends for sure. We're all friends now though. Well, I'm going to make myself be your friend. Just invite myself to become your friend. Ooh, this is a horrible one. So, 2 days before, I know where I'm going. No, maybe the day before. Hang on. Yeah, the day before this, I had a job interview, and so I didn't know the result at this point. So I went along to the stitching retreat, wandered in on my own, and this was really lovely as well. That there was at least one person who had said, there's a Facebook group who had said, if you're walking in on your own and you don't want to, or you want somebody to meet, then Mary was somebody that you could meet to chat to and to sort of walk in with, so you weren't on your own, which I thought was lovely. And I hope people sorry, I'm trying to think as I'm doing this nonsense. I hope people, I don't know what I was going to say. I hope people do that at all retreats, because it was really fabulous for people to have an option and to have somebody to walk in with. I wandered in and immediately saw Tan, and then Rosie, and was very, very lucky to be sat with a fabulous table again. Let me just sort these out. It was in a hotel. No, it wasn't. It was in like a kind of conference centre. And interestingly, once I walked in, I was like, oh, I've been here before. I recognise the name anyway, but it's one of those things you recognise if you're from Bristol, you kind of recognise that building anyway, potentially. But I have actually been there before for something work-related in a different life. I cannot remember what it was for really, but I've definitely been there before. It was a really warm day, and the hotel had, perhaps something had happened with one of the rooms that we were going to be in. I'm not entirely sure. So we were in a different room than planned. It was very tight. Luckily we had the windows open, and and air conditioning. Those two things, very, very helpful. So that was fab. Yeah, Patchwork Rabbit were there again, and sorry, heard a noise. Patchwork Rabbit were there again, and there were some other vendors. So Jess Gets Stitching, who I've purchased from previously. All of these people are going to be, I'm going to link them below. Jess Gets Stitching, oops, and Jo Bird again from Ladybird. Have I got? Yeah, I've got something to show from both of those. Michelle from Mama Loves You GB was also there. and I immediately accosted her and asked her about how she stitches more kind of, not full coverage, but more, what am I trying to say? Bigger, more full motifs. So instead of sort of lettering, so instead of sort of lettering on a sampler, stitching in hand, how Michelle sort of stitched her Year in the Woods, so more full coverage, more full coveragey designs, but not full coverage like this, but motifs with more stuff in them. Does that make sense? I'm not sure if that makes sense. Anyway, Michelle was absolutely wonderful, and I will also, of course, link her below. And yeah, I may or may not have bothered her a couple of times. Yeah. So yeah, it was absolutely wonderful. I'm booked on for the next one, and I would highly recommend. There's something very different about, oh, I've missed a thread again. There's something very different about it being a day retreat. It felt different to the last one. I don't know, but I didn't feel unwell for this one, so I was very happy. So on our table we had Rosie, as I said, Rosie X Stitches, and Tan, and I'll put both their Instagram and Flosstubes below. We had Kelly from Sappy Stitches. Hi Kelly. Absolutely wonderful to meet you. We'd been chatting for a while via some SALs previously. I think you're lovely. And Liz was sat next to me. We had a little chat about a number of things. Everyone was stitching such just beautiful stuff. I met Morty from Mad Morty and the Brom. David wasn't able to attend the retreat. However, I met Morty and passed on my hellos to David, of course. We shall meet, David, we shall meet. And that Morty, just really, how lovely, we had the loveliest chats, and I think probably within about 5 minutes I definitely had tears of laughter rolling down my cheeks. So yes, finally met Morty, and we had some fabulous chats, and I look forward to meeting you both at the next one, hopefully. I think I've missed a loop in there. I'm gonna have to go through that again. And Rosie's mum, hello, who did some stitching and a few other different bits. Really, oh, there we go. Really lovely to meet you, and I hope I meet you again. We had some really lovely lunch. The lunch was just outstanding, really. I think I took some photos. I think I might have taken some photos of my food. I'm that person, which is fine. I don't mind being that person. Yeah, I definitely did. I think I just sent them to my mum to say, look what I've got. If I do, yeah, I did. I'll put them in. I'll get there eventually. And Patchwork Rabbit, again, I know I've said them about 84 times in this video, but they were there, and I went and the one box, apparently, the one box that they didn't bring with them, they brought their shop with them, and the one box they didn't bring with them due to size issues was the box that the pattern that I asked for was in that one box that they didn't bring. So they very kindly, when they went back to the shop, when they got home, they sent that out to me separately, which I'll show you in my haul at the end of this stuff. Yeah, I met some lovely people. Hello, Helen. And yes, as I said, signed up for the next one straight away. Cannot wait. absolutely cannot wait. So, what did I stitch? Oh, I stitched Mermaid of Salem Bay. Again, it's one that I can stitch without a light or any sort of readers. You know, the plus 1.25, 1.5 glasses, those ones. 1.25s I think I've got. So I stitched on that, and then for the rest of June I stitched on Sleeping Princess by MerMaynia. Oh, just to say again, at that retreat I met loads of people, and thank you to anyone who came up and said hello. I really appreciate it, and I hope to meet you all again. And if you want to see a little bit more detail showing what everyone was stitching and a kind of walk around the room and the shops, please watch Morty's video. I'll put a link below to her retreat, Flosstube, which is fab. And you can see my interview with Morty in that video as well. Anyway, so yeah, MerMaynia, Sleeping Princess. It was a new start, Father's Day start. It's actually, did I buy the, no, I think, did I? No, I've no idea. I can't remember when or where I bought the pattern, but I've started it. Again, you'll see that in the Whip Parade. And I spent 2 weeks on it and could easily have just carried on if I didn't have another new start to take its place. Oh, I just love it. Okay, I'm just turning the page. Okay, so before I continue, this is the last page. So this goes up to number 62. And then you can see here they've added some stickers. And that's because there's so much number 40 that they've put it here. And then the same for 43, 49, 50 and 61. They've put an extra one. So these are the same colour. They're just split out because they've got loads. I've got another piece, which is one of my July starts, and my only other July start apart from this one, which in the cards they've got, so for instance they'd have 57 and then 57 again and then 58. And they've done that a couple of times, so they haven't put the extras at the back. They've actually, this card actually has compensated for it, and they have the same number twice or 3 times, and then they continue with the rest of the numbers. If I'm honest, I quite like this. I think it would be easier, and I think I would prefer to take this, you know, use up this one for example, and then, that's a bad example because none of these is that number. Let's go with 61, that's a much better example. Use up 61 and then take all of this and put it back on here. So that, because a couple of times, there's one I think on mine that is, I don't know, something like number 43, and it's here and here, but it's also on the page before, right at the bottom. And so I always go to start this one and then think, oh no, hang on, I want to use the one at the bottom of the page before first. Anyway, it's fine. So I prefer this. I'm going to chop the loops anyway because it makes much more sense. I'll forget later. And I've done this before on one kit, and I won't do it again. On one kit, I just snipped the loops of the ones that I was sort of as and when I used them. Because I was, at that time I was in a frame of mind of, I haven't got time to sit down and do this for all of them. I'm just going to do them as I go, which I tend to, if I ever bobbinate or floss drop a piece, I will do that, but I forgot, and then when I came back to it, I pulled a strand and hadn't cut the loops and it was messy. So now I just do the whole lot in one go. I won't leave these extra ones. I'm going to chop the whole lot. Boring. Right. So MerMaynia, Sleeping Princess, yes, and I'll talk more about that. I managed to get loads done. I impressed myself. I'm not gonna lie. And then so that was June. Oh yeah. I kept you waiting. Let me just check you're still recording. Yeah. I got the job. I know you're all waiting for me to remember that I mentioned that. I got the job and I accepted the job, and I start the new job in September. and it's still for the public service, it's still public sector, it's still in finance, just in a different organisation, a step up to the next grade, and I'm delighted. And I have handed my notice in to my current job. So that's very exciting. I'll be in the centre of town a couple of days a week, which after 3 years, is it? 3 years? Yeah, over 3 years of working from home predominantly, and I don't know, something like 2 years of going into the office twice a month. Being in the office twice a week, I think, is exactly what I need. So I'm over the moon, and any good luck wishes that you could send my way for my September start would be very much appreciated. Yeah. It'll be fine. So that was that. Yeah, so that was June. And then July is, as I said, my birthday month. And Kelly and I decided to start a Gecko Rouge kit called Daryl Dixon. I saw somebody on the Gecko Rouge Facebook group had said this is a kit that, or I think they'd done they'd finished the piece. And The Walking Dead is I'll start again. The piece is by Jay Parks, previously known as Jenny Parks, and the piece is called Daryl Dixon, and Jay takes characters and recreates them as cats. So if you have seen Kelly's channel and you've seen the Firefly piece that she does with the cats from the TV show Firefly, they're not cats in the TV show, they are human characters and actors, and Jay recreates them as cats. That is really long-winded. Again, I've no idea if any of that made any sense. However, Daryl Dixon is a character from The Walking Dead, which is about the apocalypse and zombies, and just, for me, one of my favourite shows. And there's a cat version of Daryl Dixon. So we both wanted to start it with the spin-off of one of the new spin-off shows, because The Walking Dead itself has actually finished, but the world hasn't finished. They've created a few spin-off shows, but I don't actually have access to it at the moment here in the UK. So we found a different spin-off show, which we both did have access to, and Kelly lives in Australia, which is why that you might not have known. Why would you have known that unless you know both of us? So we watched that and we decided we would start Daryl at the same time, which we did. And again, I spent 2 weeks, 2 days on him, and I just could easily not put it down and just carry on. If it wasn't my birthday and I didn't have this Sunny to start, I would just carry on with Daryl Dixon, and I'd be happy to. It's just incredible. Wait till you see it. I think even if you're not a particular fan of cats, I think you could probably still appreciate the artwork and the charting. It's just amazing. So I don't know where I was going with that, other than just probably telling you. So that's what I've been working on for the last 2 weeks, Daryl Dixon. And I think I'm really enjoying, I am really enjoying that kind of monogamous stitching. So a couple of weeks on one thing. I went through a stage of quite liking a different piece every day, and that's just not where my head's been at. So I've really enjoyed sort of 2 weeks on this, 2 weeks on that. And I'm going to start Sunny today. And did I cut that? Yeah. And I'll be working on this one for 2 weeks until, I think my next start needs to be my chatelaine. I've been kitting it up for well over a year. I I think last month I got the fabric. So I think I'm now ready to start that one, and I want to bring you along on my journey. Yeah, and then I'm not sure, I don't know if I've got any other starts planned till October. Oh look, missed another one. Just one strand. It's all it takes to make a mess. So that's where I've been over the last couple of months. Oops, making a mess on my own. Yeah, that's where I've been. So I think I counted up all the bits I've worked on. I've worked on 14 pieces since my last Flosstube. Well, this is going to be number 14, I think. Yeah, I think this is going to be number 14. So not a small amount. However, that's a couple of months, so I don't know. Depends. We all have different perspectives on what's a lot of whips, what isn't a lot of whips, etc., etc. Yeah, and that one, yeah. So this is quite therapeutic, and I'd happily sit and do this just watching the TV, or listening to an audiobook, or probably watching Flosstube, to be honest. And whoops. I always just do a little, well, I don't always, but if I'm not sure I've done it right, if I wasn't 100% concentrating, I will try and run through it just in case. Yeah, getting there. What else have I got to tell you? What else have I got to tell you? Oops. Oh yeah, SALs. So, I'm just going to do this one again. What have I managed to mess up? Oh, no, I don't know. So, yes, so Emma and I, we put out some SALs, and we had spring Hare earlier on in the year, and we had MerMaynia. I think it was spring Hare 3 months? Yes, January was Salathon, and spring Hare was February, March and April. May is MerMaynia, and June, July, August should have been Quiet Please, which is a free pattern available on a blog spot, which I will link below. Now, I say should have been, which probably lets you know I have not yet started it. I don't know what it was. That's not true. I do know what it was. I applied for my new job 2 days before the end of June. My interview was the first week of June, and then I went to the retreat. Okay, I know that my camera just cut off. I don't know if it was battery or memory, but I sorted both, so I'm not entirely sure where I left that story, and I don't remember what it was anyway. August Stitchalong. Next Stitchalong will be September, October and November, and that is a wreath-a-thon. So basically, if you have anything that's got a wreath in it, you can stitch on that during those 3 months. I have one which is a Halloween wreath, and I will probably be stitching on it maybe once a week, probably on a weekend day, so I can get weekend day, but on a weekend day, yeah, I suppose, so I can get a little bit more on it than a work day, so which is a weekday for me. So yeah, I'll probably be doing that. Oops. 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 Ah, look at that. Just one. I don't know how to manage it. So, yeah, that's about everything in terms of Stitchalongs, plans going forward. I'll do a bit more plans in a second when I just finish these last ones off. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I did speak to somebody who, I showed this ages ago, about literally maybe 2 years ago, about cutting the loops on a Gecko Rouge kit. And then I spoke to somebody else and they said that they take them off and equal out the lengths and then put them back on and then cut the loops so that they all end up the same. And I just don't do that. I will just cut them as they go. You can, of course. Some have, you know, some of them will have, they're not that dramatically short, you know, that I've never found one that's got loops down here and then loops over here. But there is sometimes a small, for me anyway, a small difference, maybe even sometimes down here. But I wouldn't take these off personally, but you can do, of course. But I think all this to say that I've never had an issue with it. I stitch this 18 count. Yeah, sorry, start again. I am stitching this one on 18 count, and you can tell from some of the, well, you can tell that this is potentially all, what you can't tell, I can tell this is all potentially one colour, and that you'll have a lot in the same colour. It's just started to rain. Yeah. And if I've only got a little bit, so there'll probably be some confetti in here somewhere. It's a Gecko Rouge kit, generally confetti. Or at least, if not confetti, then lots of colour changes in one small area. Let's put it that way. But what I'll do is, if I know I've got loads, if I need loads of the same colour, is I'll just take 2 strands and I'll match them up. And I appreciate I can't start with a loop start, or I could, but I'm not going to. I'll just bury my tail in whatever I've stitched before, or pin stitch. Start, pin, start, whatever. I'll just take 2 strands and then I'll have double the length. But if there's a piece that I'm working on, like say for instance the Dowell Dixon one that I'm doing at the moment, just 1 strand folded up gives you this length, and for the amount of colour changes that I have, I would use this. A lot of the Dowell Dixon piece is block stitching all in the same colour, and I will just take 2 strands and use them. So even though I've cut them, so I appreciate if you wanted to do this more as a loop start, I totally appreciate that you might want to take this off, make these longer, double the length, then cut them, and then you've already got a long strand for a loop start. I've never had that. I've never needed to do that. I just cut the loops and just go from there, really. But again, you can do whatever you want to do. I've just spotted one that I missed. Look at that. Look at that. I just spotted it then. I'm sure there's probably more than one. Right, so I'll just cut this one, and then I'm going to start to plait them, because, oh, I'll talk about that in a minute. Oops. That was messy. That's done. Yeah, also you could just get some big scissors and cut them through in one go, as opposed to doing it the silly way that I do it. Have I done all of those? Yeah, I just missed it. And I guess, there you go, like it is a bit shorter than the others, so maybe I missed it because it was shorter, don't know. It's fine. There you go. So, come back to the beginning. And I do tend to brush them through. I mean, you're not going to necessarily pick up every, you know, if there's one in here, what are the chances of you finding that loop at this point are pretty slim, but occasionally I have been known to do that. Also, it just tidies them up. And that is one of the reasons why I'm about to plait them or braid them, because it is just for tidy's sake. Sorry, I just know I'm not on the camera. If you take 1 strand every time you do it, I mean, this is a lot. This is a lot of stuff now. I've cut the ends. You end up pulling bits up and stuff, and it makes it messy. So all I'm going to do, yeah, this is pretty chunky down here. Now it's all chopped up and messy. So all I do is, and I'm probably going to have to go and get something heavy to put on here, is I will pick the chunky ones. I'll probably leave that one, you'll see in a second, and I'll just plait them because it just for convenience it keeps them all together. Yeah, I'm just going to get my sewing machine to put on here. Maybe a box, hang on, won't be a second. Just so I'll show you some of my fabrics, some of my quilts, Christmas fabrics. Oh, I'll do a craft room tour at some point. Okay. Yeah, that's sort of going to do. Okay, I had to answer the door. So I'm going to just, let's do this consistently. So these two don't have a huge amount. So I'm just going to leave them as they are. This is quite a chunky one. Again, all of this, well, all of it is completely optional. But this to me just keeps it a little bit more tidy, a little bit more user-friendly. I would advocate a loose plait. Again, that's not very much. That's not very much. I'll do it anyway. And I don't spend time working out, well, I'll try to make sure it doesn't pick up the page below. I don't spend time, you can see how messy that is there. I don't spend time working out that it's equal strands or trying to make it nice. I just do it quickly, get it done. Da-da-da. Oh, no. This isn't very big, but I might as well. Or I might not as well, but I'm going to do it anyway. Oops. Skip that one, do this big one. That I could do with a little bit more space there actually. Yeah, it doesn't, as you saw then, not a tidy plait, just doesn't matter. I think the purples are in her eyes, her eyeshadow. That one's done. So, yeah, that's page one. Ignore. I think on my floss organisers for Sleeping Princess, my memorabilia, yeah, I think I got these and then I sort of plaited all of this in, and then all of this, and then in threes, I think. I don't think I'm going to do it on this one. I just don't think I'm going to do it on this one. Oh, I forgot to weigh it down. That's annoying. This one? No. This one? Yeah. I intend to do a few stitch with me's as well, so you might see the benefits of having this plaited later. That was bad. That was a bad bit of plaiting. My goodness. Never mind, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to do any others on that page. Right, so just to go back to the beginning of my Flosstube today. I said I would be doing Sorry, this is so dark as well. I said I would be doing this instead of a sort of traditional floss tube. And my plans, you know I like a good plan if you've seen me before, is to put this one out. I'm going to do a finish parade with a twist. And that'll be everything that I've got in my, well, people call it bag of shame, don't they? Drawer of shame. I'm going to start renaming it my bag of triumph, because I finished those pieces. Some of them are really hard. Some of them were many, many years ago. Some of them are with friends. Some of them were stitch-alongs. Some of them are with a lot of people I don't know, or now know, and now know. And a lot of them, all of them, apart from one, is all of my time and effort and mental effort as well. So I'm not ashamed of them. I'm ashamed that I have not put them in frames, but again, I need to be in the right frame of mind to get it. Let's see what I did there. To frame things. And I have a solution for a bit of a framing problem, which I will show you, talk to you about in my finishing parade with a twist floss tube. Shortly, I don't know when that's going to be, but I'm going to make it soon. I've got a setup now in my craft room, which I haven't had for a really long time. I've got a space. So that's the finished one, and then I'm also going to do a chatelaine supplies video. So all I'm going to do is show you the supplies that I've accumulated for my chatelaine start, and where I got them from, problems I've had getting them, some of them, where I got them from, and my fabric. And then I'm going to actually do a chatelaine start with me at some point. I want that to be in July as well. But we are running out of July. I might try and record all my preparation and floss and fabric video info videos in July and then start it in August. I don't know. I'll see what happens. So I finished with me, chatelaine stuff, stitch with me. I do have my craft room kind of sorted now, so if anyone would like a craft room tour, please pop a comment below. Let me know if that's something you're interested in. And then in August, because I really have never ever been able to, I say never ever, I can't remember the exact dates, but I don't think I do a whip parade on time. I think I tend to do it in January or February, and then in sort of August. So I'll do a whip parade probably after whip parade season. Look at that sad little one there. Move him to the other side. Yeah, so finish parade with a twist, whip parade, chatelaine setup, chatelaine start, stitch with me, and then I think maybe from September, well, August, September, try to get back to a more regular floss tube. And I think that, I know that with some of the people that I follow on Flosstube, I don't care if they've only got one project, 2 projects, 3 projects, or 50 projects. I will still watch their video. Doesn't matter how much progress they've got or how many projects. If I'm going to watch you, I'm going to watch you. It doesn't matter what you show. So let me just unpick this one. So I think going forward, even if I don't have that many projects to show you, I'm still going to record a Flosstube, and I hope that some of you will stick around to watch that. I do find that it's my own fault waiting 3 months for my, you know, for the next Flosstube just becomes just a lot, and it shouldn't. It's silly. I'm moaning about something silly, but yeah, I'd rather do them more regularly. And I know I say that, and then it'll be another 3 months. Anyway, this is gonna. So, this is the last one. We'll see if there's a difference. To me, this is far, far more manageable than just leaving it with all of that floss. I'm just going to put this one to the back. So that's what this back page looks like. What does it look like for you? Oh yeah, that's quite good. And, whoops. So this still looks really messy, but this is far, far more manageable to work on, and it is less in terms of bulk. It is less to deal with, so I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, I don't have my Kindle with me, so I can't look on Pattern Keeper to see which one is my first one. I do have the pattern. Oh no, it's over there in plastic. Don't want to do some crinkling. So these are my floss. I'm now ready to start Sunny, and I'm really excited. Here's the 18 count Ada. How much zooming? It's not gridded. Yep, just standard 18 count Ada. I bought myself 2 new hoops today in my local fabric shop, which doesn't have a huge cross stitch selection. It has DMC threads and 11, 14 and 28 count. It's only just started to have 28 count, and needles, accessories and things, and then a selection of hoops. And I bought myself a new hoop, and I will let you know how I get on with it. It's by Darcy Craft, £3.25, 7-inch, and I like that this bit is away from the wood. So I've got a number of them where this bit that you turn is right next to the wood, and it's really hard to get into and turn. I like that there's a gap here that you can sort of get into. I actually bought 2. So let's hope that they're good. I bought one a while ago in Hobbycraft, and the sticker was around this, and when you took the sticker off, all the glue was left in there. So that was really disappointing. And I had another one by a different brand that gave me splinters. So I'm hoping this one's just going to be fine. But I will, I'll let you know that I bought today. I'm going to do my haul video tomorrow. No, probably Thursday. It doesn't matter. You don't need to know. It'll be a mere couple of seconds. So I'm going to go and start this one. I think I'm going to do a top left start. I much prefer a top left start on a full coverage. Let's see how I get on. And I will film my haul separately and then pop it in here. And I appreciate if you're not into haul, you don't want to see that. Thank you very much for watching this. If you did enjoy it, please do hit the thumbs up button, which is the like button below, and hit subscribe if you want to see more. Ring the bell if you want to be notified of my videos. If you do want to see some haul, keep watching. Thanks. Hi everyone. So it's been but a blink of an eye for you all, hopefully, if I've done this right. For me, it's been about 3 or 4 days. I can't really remember what was happening. I I think I just ended up recording really late into the evening, and so I needed to finish when I'd finished doing all my floss. So I've come back now just to show you the haul that I picked up from the Bristol Stitches retreat, and because it has been a couple of days, I've now got some progress on Sunny to show you. So let's just see what you can see. Oh yeah, cool, okay. Okay, so the first one I want to show you is this piece. This is by Jess from Jess Gets Stitching. I've previously bought some needle minders from Jess, and Jess was there to sell needle minders, floss drops, grind guards, I believe. I'll put the link to Jess's shop below. I bought some needle minders a really long time ago, and they're just so cute. So yeah, so hi Jess, it was lovely to meet you. Do check out our shop, I'll pop it down below. It's absolutely stunning. I'm glad my camera can pick this up. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I just love it. It's finished so beautifully. So this one was from Jess. And now that I've shown it to you, I can now hang it up. It's been put to one side. The next one is some floss drops from Girl with the Gavel Stitches. And they're really cool. A little star at the bottom to put the floss in. I was very lucky for these. Thank you very much. I've picked up some of the Fabric of the Month from Patchwork Rabbit. This was actually their Fabric of the Month, but they had some spare, so I picked some up from 40 count. I'm doing the Medieval Marginalia series by Christie, as you know, because I'm sure some of you would have seen a few of my pieces. And so I wanted some sort of 40 count manuscripty looking fabric. This is really dark. The lighting in here is horrendous, even with the light, so I apologise. And yeah, this is a pretty dark fabric in terms of... Have I got my... No, they're all packed away. My other two finishes from Christie are on sort of much lighter colour, coloured fabric, but I think that it works anyway, and it will work. It's got a lot of sort of green, a green tint to it. You can just kind of make out. So I'm hoping that that's going to be a good option for one of the Marginalia pieces at some point. I just need to make sure I pick the right one. So I've got some of this. I picked up a pattern by Primrose Cottage Stitches. Home Sweet Haunted Home. I just loved the wonky house. So that's going to have to be an October start. But not this year, because I have so many planned. Yeah, not this year. The next one I picked up was Be Not a Dunce, Mary Ann Kettle, 1838. This is charted by Michelle from Mama Loves You GB. I've seen this one previously on Michelle's Flosstube. Just absolutely loved it. And I took the opportunity to pick this one up in person from Michelle. So, hi Michelle, if you watch this. It was lovely to meet you. And this is such a cool pattern. Be Not a Dunce. Strive to Learn. 8 years old. Sorry, I know it's really glary. So yeah, I just loved that one. So I wanted that one anyway. So I did spend quite a lot of time actually sitting, trawling through my orders to try and work out which ones I'd already bought from Michelle. And I'm still assuming this is not one I've bought already. If it is, then I now have a in-hand copy. So twice as much joy. The next one I picked up was Fracture by Teresa Kogut, and this one actually wasn't at the retreat, as I mentioned earlier. If I haven't already edited that bit out, this was actually in, I keep saying actually, oh my word, this was in the only box that they didn't bring with them. So the ladies at Patchwork Rabbit very kindly sent this across to me separately when they got back, and I'm very grateful. I'm really, really excited about it. There's just something for me about this red border. Every time I see it, I just love it. No idea when I'll ever start that one. I will actually probably start it, but no plans as yet. It's just beautiful. So that was that. And then the last thing I picked up was a project bag from, let's see if this, yeah, there's an actually, those are going to be my words for this actual Flosstube. So this is handmade by Ladybird. So Joe Bird, as I said earlier, was there. And this is my choice of project bag. And I think it's beautiful. Kelly, I know you have this one as well, and hopefully at some point we'll have the same project in it, I'm sure. It's just absolutely beautiful. I loved it. The back's this lovely woodland tree scene. And very, very cute. Wait for it. There we go. Very, very cute. Really sweet. And so that was my haul from the stitching retreat. I'm sure I bought other stuff. I purposely kind of put this to one side so that I could show you everything. And so now I can go and put it all away, which will be exciting. Sorry, terrible glare. That's the plan. Okay, so that's the whole section, and I'm now going to show you an update on Sunny. Okay, so as a reminder for myself, because it hasn't been that long for you, but as I said, it's been a while for me. I've got my pattern keeper here as well, so I'll be able to show you what I've stitched. This is Sunny, and I started top left. I'm working on 18 count Ada. I picked essentially, I don't know how much I can bring, oh yeah, actually quite well. This this colour here is quite blocky, and then it sort of staggers across. So I've chosen the top left colour, and I basically nearly stitched all of it. I've added in another colour as well for a few stitches, but I've basically just picked this top left colour, and I'm going to do the whole of it in this corner and then gradually sort of work across and work page by page across the top. That's the plan. I'm just going to move something because it's going to be noisy, so it won't be a sec. And this is where I am so far. Ignore that bit. So yes, as you can see, I've chosen this colour and I'm now working out. This is the bottom of this colour. I'm not sure, where does the page go? Oh yeah, the page stops about here. I've just gone slightly below the page. The page on this one stops about here. But because this colour was just going a little bit further, I just finished it off. And so all I need to do now for this one main colour is sort of work down in a kind of arc here and fill this section in. I have added another colour in here which is much lighter. I'll just try and bring it in. There you go. This colour here which is much lighter in a few of these bits. But now that I've done that one colour, I just want to finish it off in that corner really. I'm just going to put this back down again, it's going to be noisy. Okay, so I've reached 2%. This is my pattern keeper. Wait for it to focus as well. So this is I've reached 2%, which is, what's that, 1507 stitches. You can see here the orange that I've picked is this top one. I mean, I'm not showing you the pattern officially in here, so I think this is fine. And then yeah, those green stitches are the ones that I've got left to finish this one colour in the corner and then get on with all the others. In this particular colour, there is nearly 10,000 stitches in the whole thing. So if I zoom back out, you can see where this colour comes back in the top right corner and then is included in quite a lot of the bottom. So yeah, it's not too bad. Is that everything? No. So you can see there a full view of how much I've got done so far. I really enjoyed, for those of you who watched my any of my drift progress last year, I really enjoy that background, the background of some of these, which are, they're block colours, but then they kind of stagger about. So if you stitch across 20 stitches, you might stitch one, miss one, stitch one, miss one, stitch two, and it's that kind of thing that makes it, even though it's a block colour, it makes it really interesting. I'm not a fan of the proper block colour, which is just, you know, if the whole of this was in one colour. I'm not a huge fan of that, although there are times when that's all you want to do. And even in this Hare, this is the sort of mock-up card that you get with it. I think this is white along here, but there's going to be colours. There's going to be colours going all the way through that, which you can't really tell. But yeah, I don't think there's too much block colours, even though it all looks orange. You can see the kind of almost pixelated kind of version of it. I just don't think it will look like that. Not sure what's happened here. That looks interesting. What has happened there? Don't know. So yes, this is where I am, and this is what I'm going to be working on for a couple of weeks now. No, that's not right. A couple of weeks, probably until the end of July, and then I would have given it a good 2 weeks on its own. So in terms of plans, I have decided I'm definitely not going to start Quiet Please, which was the Stitch Along with Emma. So apologies for anyone who was hoping to start that with us or did start it without us. I can only apologise. I think I will. Yeah, so I'm hesitating because I don't want to commit myself to something, but I have a chatelaine to start, and I now have all the bits, and so I do want to do a video just showing you all the supplies, which I might do next, before I actually make a start on it in August. So I think it needs to be my August start, really. Maybe. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, that is, I think, everything I wanted to show you today. I hope you're all well. Please leave me a comment if you were sort of signposted here by somebody. I'd love to know how you found me, and I'd like to say thank you to them if it's somebody that I'm not aware of that's sent you my way. Thank you to any new subscribers that I've had since my last Flosstube 3 months ago, and thank you to anyone who's come back to watch this. Hopefully I'll have sort of the standard traditional floss tubes going forward. This just seemed like a really sensible way of catching up the last couple of months, really. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope now you can see how I sort out my floss. If you did like this video, please hit the like button, which is the thumbs up below, and hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more. Thank you very much for watching, and see you at the next one.